Sweden has fantastic work and business opportunities, so many foreigners consider working in Switzerland. If you're considering it too, let me tell you that you need a Sweden work visa. Hi, this is Max from the Visa Library. Many nationalities need a visa to work in Sweden. In this video, I will cover the people who need a Sweden work visa, the work permit requirements, fees, and so much more. But before I start, I have to ask you to subscribe to our channel and like the video. If you do it, I will give you a surprise at the end of the video. Let's go. Who needs and does not need a Sweden work visa? Sweden work visas are divided into short stay and long stay visas. But first, you need to know if you need a visa. It depends on your nationality and the time you will stay in Sweden. You also should apply for a Sweden work permit. Check if you need a work permit or not. Let's see. First, citizens of EU, EEA and Nordic countries can work in Sweden without a work visa or permit for up to 3 months. Also, EU or EEA nationals can enter Sweden to look for a job, but they cannot stay in Sweden for the long term without a work permit. Secondly, non-EU or EEA citizens whose nationalities are not Sweden visa-free have to apply for a Sweden work visa. They have to apply both for a Sweden work visa and a work permit. If they have a permanent residence visa from one of the EU countries or Switzerland, then their condition is similar to the EU citizens. Unlike EU or EEA citizens, people from non-EU countries must have a job offer to apply for a Sweden work visa. They must get a job and work permit before they arrive in Sweden. They must attach the document for work visa and permit to their application. If they are non-EU students and have completed some postgraduate credits in Sweden and want to get a job, they don't need to attach the documents. So there's that. If their Sweden work permit is longer than 6 months, then their family can get a work permit as well. One tip for entrepreneurs. If you want to work for longer than 3 months in Sweden and start or run your own business, you must apply for a residence permit. It is the case if you are going to become a part owner of another company. The Sweden authorities must grant you a residence permit before you travel to Sweden. Good news for young people. Youngsters between 18 to 30 who are from these countries can apply for a working holiday permit in Sweden for up to 1 year. What are the eligibility conditions for a Sweden work permit? There are different requirements for obtaining a Sweden work permit. Let's see. Number 1, you must have an official employment offer from a Sweden employer. Number 2, your employer must have advertised the job in the EU or EEA regions for at least 10 days. Number 3, the employer must pay at least 1,300 SEK for a monthly salary. Number 4, the employer's terms of employment must match the regulations set by the Sweden collective agreements. Number 5, you must have a valid passport. Number 6, your employer must provide insurance that covers health, life, employment, and pension. What are the Sweden work visa requirements? Let's see. Number 1, application form. You could download this form from the embassy in your country. Complete it with exact information from your documents. Then sign and date it. Keep it until you deliver it to the Sweden authorities during your interview. Number 2, cover letter. It is from you to the Swedish officials explaining the reason for your trip to Sweden. Your cover letter must be strong and explain why you are suitable for the job. Number 3, passport. It must have validity for 6 months before the time you will leave Sweden. It should have 2 blank pages too. If you have an old passport, you must provide it as well. Number 4, photo. You should provide 2 photos taken in the last 3 months. The background must be clear and nothing should cover your face. If your face has gone through significant changes recently due to surgery, weight loss, or weight gain, you need to provide a new photo. Number 5. Travel insurance. It must cover all your medical expenses in Sweden and the entire Schengen state for 30,000 euros. Number 6. Proof of accommodation. Make it clear where you will stay in Sweden using a rental agreement. You can also provide ownership proof or booked hotel. Number 7. Job offer. Provide the job offer from the Sweden employer with a copy of the signed contract. Number 8. Your resume. Now, just one thing. Remember that the Sweden officials could ask for more documents than we mentioned. So there's that. How to apply for a Sweden work visa? There are 2 ways you can apply for a Sweden work visa: online and at the embassy. First, let's look at the online applications. Step 1. Get a job offer. You must have an employment offer from a Sweden employer. He or she must advertise the job in the EU for at least 10 days. If no one is found in the EU, the employer can offer you the job. Step 2. The employer begins the application. Your employer should start the application for a work permit by completing a job offer. You will need to provide personal information to your employer, such as name, date of birth, citizenship, education certificates, and your email. Step 3. Receive an email. Once your employer completes the employment offer, you will get an email. It will tell you how to apply for a work permit. You should provide your complete information in the application. In case your family is coming with you, you have to apply for a permit for them as well. Please check the information about the terms of employment matches with your agreements. Step 4. Attach your documents. You will need to submit copies of your passport pages, a power of attorney, your job offer, and paid fees. These documents should be scanned or photocopied. Step 5. Pay and submit the application. You can pay the application fee using Visa or MasterCards. The application should be submitted after you pay the fee. Then you and your employer will receive an email that confirms the submission of your application. Step 6. Wait for the processing. The Sweden Migration Agency will decide on your application after you've provided all the required documents and information. The Swedish Migration Agency might ask for further documents during processing. Now, if they do, it will take longer. Step 7. See if you need a residence permit. If you are granted a permit for more than 3 months, you will receive a residence permit card. The card proves that you have permission to reside in Sweden and contains information such as your fingerprints and photograph. Step 8. Getting the results. You will specify a Sweden embassy or consulate in your application. The specified center often informs that your request got approved. They will also send a notification to the employer to inform him or her. Then you should go and take your passport to the Sweden embassy or consulate. They will take your photograph and fingerprints. Within 4 weeks, you will get your residence work permit card. Now, let's talk about the in-person applications. Step 1. Complete the application form. You should complete the Sweden work visa application, print and sign it. You also need to date it. Link is in our article. You can also receive it from the Sweden embassy or consulate in your home country. Step 2. Gather the required documents. At this stage, you have to gather all the required documents for a Sweden work visa. Step 3. Book an appointment. You should reserve an appointment to submit your application and required documents to a Sweden embassy or consulate. It is possible to get one through a phone call or their websites. Step 4. attend an interview. When you visit the Sweden embassy or consulate to submit the requirements, you should pass an interview. The Swedish visa officer will ask a few questions about your background and the purpose of your trip. Please be honest and give true answers. You can go to our article and read about the topics of those questions. Link is in the description. Step 5. Pay the fees. The Sweden work visa costs about 2,000 SEK. 1,000 SEK for an adult family member and 500 SEK for children. Step 6. Wait for the processing. Once everything is finished, wait until the application gets processed. How to get a residence permit for work in Sweden. If you're working in Sweden after getting a work permit, you can apply for a residence permit. If you have been working in Sweden for a total of 4 years over the past 7 years, if you can support yourself financially as an employee or a self-employed person, and if you must work for the same employer and in the same profession you had. The application for a residence permit can be submitted online or at the Swedish embassy. Here's a question. Can you work on your own in Sweden? To work as a freelancer or on your own in Sweden, you need to apply for a Sweden self-employed visa. Another question. How can you extend a Swedish work visa? To extend your work permit, you should make another application for it. There are some conditions and requirements based on your special case. You can find out about them from the Swedish Migration Agency. How long is a Sweden work visa processing time? The processing time for a Sweden work visa depends on the industry you're going to work in. This can take from 2 months to 12 months. Another question. Can you bring your dependents with a Sweden work visa? Yes. Once you get a work permit, you can travel with your family. Or your family members can travel with you. If you stay for longer than 6 months in Sweden, then they can get a work permit as well. One more question. How much does the Sweden work visa cost? The application for a work permit requires a fee of 190 euros. One more question. How long can you work in Sweden with a visa? A work permit is valid for 2 years. Usually, it is valid for the duration of your employment, but not longer than the validity of your passport. One more question. What to do if you don't have a job offer? In case you do not have a job offer for employment in Sweden, you can start looking for a job by yourself. Individuals who have a residence permit for studies in higher education in Sweden can get a residence permit to look for a job or explore the possibilities of starting their own businesses in Sweden after finishing their studies. Well, here you have it. Now you can go and start your Sweden work visa application after you subscribe to our channel and like the video. Now, about that surprise, I've put the link of our article in the description. You can go to our website and download the free cheat sheet I've prepared for you. Thank you all for watching.